Hello, I'm Andrew Pritchard. Thank you for watching today's Canada Regional Forecast, brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. We'll take a look at the jet stream just to start off, and the pattern remains to be active for many across North America. What we're watching first is this big trough that's, just pummeling the Pacific Northwest and Western Canada here, with heavy precipitation here as we begin the weekend. And we're going to see a little piece of that break off and move through the Canadian prairies here, mostly during the day Sunday, bringing the chance for some precipitation. We can play that out first at full speed, but I'm going to slow it down for you because I know that was tough to pick out. So here we go. We've got this big trough, again, blasting the Pacific Northwest on the west coast of Canada. But here we go. As we head into the weekend, you see this little piece breaking off, this little trough that's sneaking through over the top of a ridge across the United States. And as it does so, there it goes, moving on through now into the Great Lakes. It's going to bring some snow to parts of the Canadian prairies here. And so let's go ahead and jump in and take a look here. First, looking at the precipitation total forecast here from the European long-range model. And again, the pattern really continues to favor the lower 48, both the southeastern United States, parts of the Corn Belt across the U.S., really seeing repeated heavy rainfall chances here, and the same thing here, at least as we start the weekend across the Pacific Northwest, seeing some very heavy snowfall, for some very heavy precipitation along the coast, and snowfall across the higher elevation areas. But as we focus on the Canadian prairies here, that's where we see the heaviest snow is going to be, again, north of the high production areas here across, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, but still seeing some chances for precipitation across southern areas as well, where it's been quite quiet over the last couple of weeks. It's also going to allow us to, we'll warm up first looking at temperature anomalies, but then kind of returning back to normal as we get into next week, closer to average, at least across most of the Canadian prairies here. But let's talk about the precipitation here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the European model's forecast for precipitation type. We'll go through this slowly again because I want to point out, the timing on this. And it's right now we're starting on Friday evening, so about 7 o'clock on Friday evening. We head into Friday overnight, seeing some light rain falling across parts of, southern Saskatchewan, southern Alberta. We see the area of low pressure beginning to develop here again over southern Alberta. And that's what's going to be responsible for the snowfall as we head into the day on Sunday. We're at midnight now on Saturday night, Sunday morning, heading into midday on Sunday before we start to see this thing lifting out. There is that center of low pressure. High production areas of the Canadian prairies about done with the precipitation by midday Sunday. So I would say Saturday night getting into Sunday morning going to be peak precipitation there. But certainly those light snow flurries hanging on into early on Monday morning across the northern portions of Saskatchewan and central Manitoba. Chances for some light rain here as well, getting into midweek as we begin watching the development of the next major storm system across the lower 48 of the United States here. And as it stands right now, this one looks like it's going to scoot off to the south without much trouble here across the Canadian prairies, but potentially bringing some heavy snowfall to parts of the northern plains and the upper Midwest, which is an area where we don't need to see any more of that kind of thing. So for the most part, precipitation across the Canadian prairies, it's going to be focused on Saturday night into the day on Sunday. Now, how much snow are we talking about? This one looks to fall again along and north of Highway 16. Much of the Canadian prairies, the high production zone, missing out on the snow with this one. But, broadly a swath of 2 to 3 inches kind of along and north of Highway 16. Maybe some higher pockets there getting close to 6 inches before it ramps up as it gets over into Ontario and then towards the northeastern U.S., where snowfall totals could ramp up to, maybe 9 to 12 inches. But across Canadian prairies, looking like little to no snow with this one, but the chance for some light rain picking up to maybe, 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch in some areas. But southern Alberta really looks like it misses out on a lot of the precipitation from this one. This is looking through Monday, so not taking into account this next storm system that moves into the northern plains and the upper Midwest midweek next week, which could, theoretically shift and make a difference in our precipitation totals here across the Canadian prairies, but it seems unlikely at this point. Seems like the best chance for some precipitation going to be coming again late Saturday into Sunday. Now, temperatures, we're going to be warm here to start the weekend, getting into early next week before we moderate some, but we'll just take a quick look at high temperature snapshots here. We're looking at a color bar that's in Fahrenheit here. showing broadly, looking at 40 to 50 for highs on Friday. Getting into Saturday, high temperatures across southern Alberta and southern Saskatchewan. We're seeing high temperatures between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit, so about 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. Cooler as you get into southern Alberta, or southern Manitoba, I apologize there, where we're closer to, probably in the upper single digits in Celsius there. The warm-up, it kind of expands then as we head into, this would be Sunday's high temperatures, again, broadly between 10 to 15 degrees across southern Alberta, southern Saskatchewan, getting into far southern Manitoba as well. Same thing as we look at Monday high temperatures, and then very similar as we get into Tuesday as well. So generally, about 5 to 15 degrees for high temperatures in Celsius there over the next 4 days or so. As always, Eric Snodgrass will have an in-depth look at the evolution of the next 1 to 2 weeks in our Monday morning ag forecast video, and I'll have your next Canadian regional forecast for you right here on Tuesday morning. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.